will discuss about the order of Melchizedek. The order of Melchizedek. Activation of the order of Melchizedek. The order of Melchizedek. Read for me. Praise Master Jesus. Read for me Genesis 14, 18 to 22. Genesis 14, 18 to 22. Read for me.
Genesis 14, 18 to 22.
Yes.
And Melchizedek, king of Salem,
Pay attention. Melchizedek, king of Salem,
brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abraham of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, which had delivered thy enemies into thy hand. And he gave
you pay attention. Bible said Melchizedek is the priest of Most High God. Right? Hello. He is the what? The priest of the Most High God. Then go to Hebrews 6:20. Have that in mind. Melchizedek is the priest of the Most High God. Go to Hebrews 6:20.
Hebrews 6:20.
Yes.
Whether the forerunner is for us, even Jesus
Christ,
made a high priest forever.
Jesus is made a high priest for how many what?
Forever.
Forever. Okay.
After the order of Melchizedek.
After the order of Melchizedek. Melchizedek is a priest of Most High God. Jesus is made a high priest. Melchizedek is not Jesus. Hello. Melchizedek is not what? He is not Jesus. Jesus is a high priest. Melchizedek is a priest. In Revelation 5 verse 10, the Bible said that giving thanks to our Father Jesus Christ, that through his death, burial and resurrection, he has made us, through his sacrifice on the cross, he has made us kings and what? Priests unto our what? Our God. Who is Melchizedek? He is not Jesus. What me anywhere? He is not what? Jesus. Is not the theophany of Christ. He is not Jesus. But Jesus came after that order. I will explain later what that order is all about. 2. Melchizedek is a king of righteousness. Go to Hebrews 7 verse 1 and 2. Hebrews 7 verse 1 and 2. Who is Melchizedek? That's what we are discussing. Who is Melchizedek? Who is he?
Hebrews 7, 1 and 2.
Yes.
For this Melchizedek, king of Salem,
is a king of Salem, 1.
Priest of the Most High God.
The priest of the Most High God.
Who met Abraham, returning from the slaughter of the kings.
Yes.
And blessed him. To whom also Abraham gave a 10th part of all.
Okay.
First, being by interpretation, king of righteousness.
He is the king of righteousness. Hello. He is what?
King of righteousness.
The king of righteousness. 1. Okay.
And after that, also king of Salem, which is king of peace.
He's also the king of peace. He is king of righteousness. He's a king of righteousness. 1. He's also a king of what? Peace. And Bible said in Romans 5:17, as many that has received him, that through one man sin entered into the world, but how much more those that has received the abundance of grace and what? The gift of righteousness. In other words, we are carriers of the gift of righteousness. And Bible says Melchizedek is the king of righteousness. He is the king of righteousness. 1. He's also a king of peace. 2. He is also the chief chancellor of the treasury room in heaven. That's who he is. He is a king of peace. 1. He is a king of righteousness. 2. He is the chief chancellor of the kingdom world, of the treasury room in heaven. He is not Jesus. Praise Master Jesus. Read for me Hebrews 6 verse 20. Read it again.
Hebrews 6:20.
Yes.
Whither the forerunner is for us, even Jesus, made a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
Jesus is made after that order. He is not him. Melchizedek is a being in heaven. He is not an angel. He belongs to the class of chancellors in the kingdom world. Not every being in heaven are angels. Melchizedek is a chancellor in heaven. I won't go into detail because it's not the school of mysteries. But one day I'll go into details. But he's the chief chancellor of the kingdom world. Since he's a priest and Christ is a high priest after that order, he is not the person after the order. That means if Jesus who came after that order, and where is Christ now? If Christ in us, that is a Christ in us after the order of Melchizedek. That means that order sits inside of us. What is sitting inside of us is sleeping. After today taking this communion, the activation force of this being, because it's the atmosphere of this being, is going to call forth that your spirit man, the Christ in you, will start functioning in the fullness of who he is, because he is Christ in you after the order of Melchizedek. Praise Master Jesus. Praise Master Jesus. Thirdly, you know, onye echiri igwe, as na emele onye igwe na echiri onye igwe, ọkwa na as na enwe igwe takes unit na chichi onye igwe na onye ayawu igwe mana echibeghị echi na ogo gịnị igwe designate that point again na abụ igwe, right? You know that person is not igwe until the day oya nọ na n'ochie. 1, a year staff of office scepter. 2, a crown that makes him, that crown is a symbol of authority, mandating and authorizing him to function that way. When Jesus ascended into heaven and sits at the right hand of the Father, Bible said we seated in him. As you are seated in him, remember that God coronated him the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. He is wearing on himself many crowns. Hello. And he's having a scepter of the kingdom in his hand, right? He is wearing a regalia apparel or a mantle of kingship as a king. That very one that God the Father coronated is sitting inside of you. But the problem is that you have to enthrone him first in the throne of your heart. If you don't enthrone him, that order will not come forth in experience. Hello. Christ in us has been coronated. Christ in us has been mantled. Christ in us has been anointed. Christ in us is having the scepter of the kingdom, the scepter of authority. But he is sitting there, not on any throne. There is a throne that sits inside of you. As you start yielding that throne and receive his sitting in that him should start occupying that throne. In other words, abdicating that throne, that Christ in you will start sitting on that throne and become not just your Savior but your Lord. It is the enthronement of Christ in you is the first stage of beginning of manifestation of that order. Say, Christ in me is after the order of Melchizedek. Is according to the order of Melchizedek. Praise Master Jesus. So, what is order of Melchizedek? Read for me Hebrews 7 verse 11. Pay attention. Hebrews 7 verse 11.
Hebrews 7 verse 11.
Yes.
If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood.
If therefore perfection by Levitical priesthood.
For under it.
That means, okay, go ahead.
For under it the people received the law. What further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek and not be called after the order of Aaron?
Read for me Hebrews 5 verse 1.
Hebrews 5:1.
Yes.
For every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men.
Mark the priest. Every high priest taken from where?
From among men.
Taken from among men. One. Go ahead.
Is ordained for men.
Is ordained for men. Go ahead.
In things pertaining to God.
The things pertaining to God.
That he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins.
There are two categories of priesthood. What is order of Melchizedek? Order of Melchizedek is an ancient priesthood that dated as far back as God. It is not an earthly priesthood. There are two categories of priesthood. We have the one we call the Levitical priesthood. We have the Zadok priesthood. We have Aaronic priesthood. These three priesthood, we are ordained, picked among men, ordained for men, and they become the voice of man to God. Hello. They were picked among men, ordained for men, and they become the voice of men to God. They were earth-bound priesthood. But Melchizedek, another kind of second category of priesthood, we are ordained by God, called by God to serve God, to become the voice of God to man. One is an earthly bound priesthood. Melchizedek is the heavenly bound priesthood. There are two kinds of priests, two categories. The earth-bound priesthood becomes the voice of man to God. That's why man keep on taking sacrifices and presenting it to God. That is the earthly bound. But the heavenly bound becomes a voice of God to man. That very voice of God to man